Yeah, you know what time it is. Valhalla Hour, let's go! Kick back, put on your headphones tight. Rob and Matt, bringing fire every night. From the land of 10,000 lakes, we rule the scene. With a crew so fresh, keeping it raw and clean. Minnesota Vikings, kings of the north. We wear our purple heart and let the battle roar forth. Breaking down the game, dissecting the plays. With passion so fierce, we'll set the night ablaze. So give us a follow, hit that like. Share it with your crew, you know we're about to strike. Valhalla Hour podcast, living life bold, where legends are made and stories are told.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Well, it's that time of year again. Everyone's least favorite time. It's week 18. It's the end of the Vikings season, but we're going to go out with a bang. I'm your host, Sir SoCal. Welcome to Valhalla Hour. With me, as always, is Viking Rob Haspels, and Matthew Liciteri. How are we?
Hello. Doing good.
We're doing all right as far as that goes. So,
well, It's been over a week since our last game. So we covered it last time. So we're actually going to talk some actual football. One of the things that just came up this morning, for Diane Rossini, it sounds like we're going to either trade or get a free agent quarterback. It sounds like it's going to be a veteran quarterback to challenge McCarthy in the offseason.
yeah, there's a big article. If people follow Kevin Seifert, the ESPN beat writer for the Vikings, and he's been doing it for almost 20 years now. Very in-depth article on ESPN written by him. It's not a pay per see. You can click on it and you can see it. Details the entire timeline of everything that went wrong, the miscalculations with Daniel Jones. So it was greatly underestimated of their ability to retain Daniel Jones. That's basically what, and you read through the article, that's what they were banking on, was Daniel Jones. And then when he hopped because they wouldn't match the money that Indy was putting out, and Daniel Jones himself got the impression on his own without really talking with the coaches or the front office or whatever, that he would have a better chance of unseating Anthony Richardson to be the starter in Indianapolis than he would J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, because the feeling in the building within the organization was they were going to push for McCarthy no matter what, because that was their shiny new toy, their 10th pick overall in the draft. And Daniel Jones didn't feel comfortable about that. When that got pulled out from under them, everything bad happened. They waited until after the draft so that anything they lost got compensatory picks. Well, that was smart, except then there was no good veteran free agent quarterbacks available, and Aaron Rodgers was in the discussions, but it was too little too late, and they also were not going to match what Pittsburgh paid. And now they kind of scorned Aaron Rodgers, and he was held out and played another year thinking he was going to come to Minnesota. And then since he was out there, he just ended up playing for Pittsburgh. It's a mess. So I don't know what they're going to do next year, but it is very valid that they have to bring somebody in. I mean, you have to, right, Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah, and another part of that Pittsburgh thing that the article mentioned was not only the money, but the fact that, like, the Vikings apparently felt he was a good enough quarterback to get him to the playoffs, but they didn't feel that he was a good enough quarterback at 41 that could lead to a legitimate Super Bowl contention. And so, like, why bring him in? And they mentioned, like, when he's at the line, he checks out of a lot of plays, and it's a different play style than McCarthy. So why bring in a vet that's not going to teach McCarthy what McCarthy's going to end up running as a system?
Yep.
So, like, that begs the question of then, well, what does that do to affect the decision for this year? I mean, if we're going to trade or bring someone in free agency, like, if we're trading, it's got to be for one of the big three names, like either Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow. All three are extremely unrealistic options. But if that's your goal, is like, hey, we want someone that can come in and win us a Super Bowl, that's who you have to go for. You're not going to fucking get there with a Kyler Murray, a Jacoby Brissett, a Mac Jones, So why put it off last year just to cave and get a B level quarterback this year? I don't know what we're gonna do.
Well,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm looking right now at Spot Track, and here are some of the quarterbacks that are available in free agency. Aaron Rodgers, he is available, but we still don't know if he's going to retire or not. Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, but I do not think he's going to get what he's asking for just because he's going to be coming off that injury. Jimmy G, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, but I don't know how this fan base would feel about bringing him back for another year. Teddy Two Gloves is available. That's just a small list.
This is going to be very like revisionist history because our quarterback play since then has been just so abysmal. But Wentz was serviceable. He wasn't great, but he was also playing with one arm for like 3 weeks. I think with a full offseason to train with the team and the coaching staff, he's a serviceable backup.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. He could definitely be a serviceable backup, and the style of offense is right. I mean,
Right.
he kept us in some games.
Yeah.
And
it was against like playoff level teams like Pittsburgh, Philly.
Here's the thing. I think the amazing acquisition would be Joe Burrow, but the also the biggest pink elephant sitting on the couch because he can't stay in the field either. Dak, I guess I've never been super excited about Dak Prescott, but that's partly because I just despise the Dallas Cowboys, kind of like I despise snow in August. But there is a chance that Dak, with what he brings to the table, might fit well. And I hate to say that, but he could be a good fit. Lamar Jackson, I don't see him doing anything that Kevin O'Connell wants at all. That to me, unless Kevin O'Connell changes his entire offense, which I don't feel like he's going to,
No.
for a player, especially if JJ McCarthy is sitting in the wings. That just gets back to the same thing, like what Kevin said in the article and what you just said right now, with Aaron Rodgers. Why, unless we are going to the Super Bowl or bust this year, and then we're blowing it up and rebuilding, minus all the young guys that we drafted on our own and whatever for next year. I don't think you bring in Lamar Jackson. He ain't.
I don't think that's a 1-year swing, though. I think that's like a 2 or 3 year plan. And if it doesn't work after that, then it's like, okay, this absolutely failed. And then you blow up the whole organization, the front office, the coaching staff, everyone's gone.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they do next year is going to be what retains Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell or what gets them fired. And I'm not going to say that those two come as a package deal, because right now I would not.
They usually do.
I wouldn't put Kevin O'Connell on the hot seat, but I would definitely put Kwesi on the hot seat right now. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but even a GM will come in and be like, you know what? I don't like this coach, so bye-bye.
Right.
So there is one other quarterback that we have not discussed that could be in play for the Minnesota Vikings.
Malik Willis.
Someone more controversial.
More controversial than Malik Willis, because this is going to be funny. And I wanted to talk about this because all the rumors and the fact that we're playing the Packers this week, they obviously have a lot of injury problems at quarterback. Clayton Tune, or Thune, is it Tune?
I think it's Tune. I don't know.
Yeah. He's going to be starting against us, and we are having JJ back, but I don't look for him to finish the game. So it could be Clayton Tune versus Max Brosmer in the second half, depending on how things go. This could be interesting. But okay, now you got my excitement peaked. If it's not Malik Willis, because that's pretty damn controversial. What do you got, Chesty?
Kirk Cousins.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
He has an opt-out.
At this point, if we would have had him, I'm not saying we'd be a 12-win team, but we'd be a 10-win team right now and in the playoffs, and the Packers wouldn't be.
Yeah. It's always about price. If he comes here for 10 or 15 million for a year, fuck it. Yeah, absolutely. He's shown in Atlanta that he can still sling it. It's all about price. If as long as you're getting what you pay for, I guess. But again, that's just like we said earlier, going to the article. If the goal is to bring in a quarterback through trade or free agency that can win us a Super Bowl, that's not Kirk Cousins. That'll get you to the playoffs.
Kirk Cousins, he has an opt out. He would be leaving about, according to this, about $90 million on the table.
I also kind of think that guy wore his welcome out too, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's what the fans want versus apparently what the team is trying to do, and those aren't necessarily aligning right now.
No.
Like, there was another thing that was shared in the chat with a video where they were talking about the Wilfs have an issue with not wanting to suck. But it's like we were going to suck, or we did suck this year, and fans lost their mind. So why would they intentionally do it and piss off the fans? Like, the fans can't stomach sucking. So if the Vikings are going to do something, they need to make a swing.
Yeah.
But then again, we're so ill-tempered as a fan base and such low tolerance because we've seen this season play out our entire lives. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm a bit older than you guys, and I've been watching the misery for 10 plus years longer than you guys have even. And it's the same shit, and it's like either you have two things that happen. Either you're just numb to it and you stop giving a shit, or you're like us and you just get pissed off year after year after year because it keeps happening. It's like, what does it going to take? I mean, we've seen some so close things, 98, 09, 17, and it's always something, yeah, it's just to put it in perspective. If we beat the Packers, well, they have a lot of backups in tomorrow, and they will. So that is the reason why I say I think the Vikings will win this game, which means basically nothing to us and really nothing to the Packers because they're already in the playoffs. And I think if I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, I want to see none of my guys out there getting hit by this freaking defense because you already have a lot of injury problems and you have the playoffs starting. You need to keep people's asses on the bench. You need to just try to get through this without getting anybody hurt and take a deep breath, focus on the playoffs, and regroup. Who gives a fuck if you get beat by Minnesota in week 18? You still have games to play. We don't. And, if this is Harrison Smith's last game, if this is CJ Ham's last game, these guys are going to be out there looking to make a point and go out with a bang. That is not what the Green Bay Packers want to see right now. They need to concern themselves with keeping their people healthy because they have they have games coming up. There's no break, and then it's for real.
They're going to be running a preseason roster tomorrow, basically. But here's the thing: if we beat the Packers tomorrow, we will have a 9-8 season. I think, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
A winning record. And that's a bad year for us. You don't want to know why? Because we really don't have a quarterback guaranteed, and we missed the playoffs yet again. Every other year we seem to miss the playoffs, and we just don't have tolerance as fans. We're getting tired of it. Yeah. But how many teams, when they have a bad year, they're winning 2 or 3 games. We're sitting here, it's like, God, this year sucked. And we're a 9-win team.
Half came out of the playoffs,
or 8-win team right now, possibly a 9-win team. Our bad years are different than other people's bad years. And the thing I think that irritates fans most is if things had went, a lot of it's luck, but some of it is just what they do as an organization. If better decisions had been made, it was entirely preventable.
Mm-hmm. Well, the two big ones are like, if we don't allow that kickoff return to Chicago that put them in field goal range, then we're ahead of Green Bay in the standings right now, and they have to beat us for a playoff spot. Or if Dallas had beat Green Bay instead of tied them, same thing, because they wouldn't have that tiebreaker. So, I mean, it's just, the NFL season through 18 games, anything can happen that puts you in or takes you out. But I get the frustration, I get the anger, and it's all valid, but then you can't sit there and shit on the Wilfs for not intentionally sucking Like, why would they intentionally want to make you angry? They're trying to put out a good product to try to get to the playoffs, and we were a half game if we win tomorrow of being able to do that with, like you said, a terrible, abysmal, like 2/3 of the season. So there's only been like 4 games against Detroit included. That was a lot of fun. I mean, we swept Detroit. Like, that's, and I don't know, man. Like, you can't have both. You can't say like, hey, you gotta suck, and then get pissed when they suck.
Yeah. So Brandon has a couple good comments here I'm going to put up. Do you guys believe the NFL League is going to do anything about the bad officials? I really don't, and this is why.
No.
Because until NFL officials become a full-time job with a guaranteed salary that can support a family year-round, and depending on where you live or what you do, you know, you're talking about 6-figure salaries for anybody for any reason anymore, regardless of whether it's a dual income family. I think you're going to get a whole lot more of the same. And then he has a couple, I believe they're going to play their hearts out, referring to Green Bay because of how badly they're robbed this season alone. I have no doubt that whoever Green Bay puts on the field, Brandon, they're going to play us hard. I mean, and I also do think that Minnesota, if they know they got backups, may come in dragging their feet a little bit, just because a lot of people are like, you know what, 4 hours and I'm home and I'm off for 3 months. You know, so that possibility does exist. And then he said, that's a big if Minnesota can pull that off. I think he means Green Bay base not going to take it lying down. I'm sure they won't. I'm sure that the guys that are on the field for Green Bay are looking for making a statement as well, so that they get playing time in the playoff game and securing roster spots for next year in case they do go one and done in the playoffs. So
yeah, I don't doubt their defense. Oh, sorry.
The ref thing I want to touch on a little bit more. The referee situation, the Refs Association and the NFL are in CBA extension talks. Could there be a chance that we might be getting replacement refs again? Absolutely, but then that opens the door again to Hail Mary too.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, we've gone through this and nothing changed, so why expect it to happen this time?
yeah.
But going back to the Green Bay laying down, I don't expect their defense to lay down. I think they'll give McCarthy fits, especially like if McCarthy who he is for half the season. But our defense has been fan-fucking-tastic the last 7 weeks and shut down a top 5 offense last week. I just can't imagine that Green Bay's third-string quarterback and third-string running back are going to do a lot against this defense.
I am rather concerned about basically JJ McCarthy facing any defense at this point. Green Bay's defense did, I mean, tune him up pretty good and hard.
Yeah, but that was their starting defense. It's going to be their third stringers,
right.
Second and third.
I feel like this, and we say this all the time, and then we're pleasantly surprised otherwise, one way or another. Maybe not so pleasantly surprised. Sometimes you're surprised, but when I say I feel like this game is going to be a low-scoring one, I think we're kind of on track here.
Yeah,
I think the plan will be high percentage. And the thing of it is, JJ McCarthy, I've never seen a quarterback miss so many high percentage throws and stuff like that. But if he can make those, I think you're going to see low risk, high percentage completions. Aaron Jones is out. That means Jordan Mason, Miles Price, and whoever else.
Price is out.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Xavier Scott season.
Yeah, it's Xavier Scott time. So Jordan Mason, Xavier Scott, CJ Ham probably. I think we'll see CJ get a couple design plays because, like I said, our friend Ali Siddiqui, in the group and occasionally on the show and everything, posted on X that he feels like this may be CJ Ham's last game too.
Mm-hmm.
So might see a little bit of some trickery and some CJ Ham stuff too and everything. So
yeah, The only thing I give a shit about in this game is, like you said earlier, it doesn't matter for either team. We're not making the playoffs, and Green Bay can't change their seeding. So it's just kind of, I just want Jefferson to get 1,000 yards. Just fucking feed Jefferson 15 targets, get him his damn 53 yards.
Yep. You think as soon as he goes over 1,000, they should just sit him so he doesn't
100%.
tackle
Yes.
for
100%.
loss? Yep.
100%. Yeah.
Like as soon as JJ has his 1,000 or 1,001 or 1,003, whatever ends up being, he can sit and let's put Ty Felton in there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, once he gets his 1K, bench the whole starting offense. Be like, all right, you did what you needed to do. Let's save everybody for next year.
This is a good one here. I meant to keep it up. He's worried Green Bay might not be able to keep Malik Willis. I think there will be offers for Malik Willis. He's one of those top 5 or 6 guys that is going to be getting offers. If Green Bay wants to keep him, they're going to have to pay him. And all backups are always looking for an opportunity to be a starter. And I don't think Malik Willis is ever going to get a fair shot to challenge Jordan Love at the starting position in Green Bay. Because Jordan Love is going to be their guy. They paid him. There's no question about it. And whereas you have something like Minnesota, and like I said, I'm not sure whether the Vikings are even pursuing or they'll even make an attempt. But in a situation like Minnesota's not the only team out there. You're unsure of who your starter is. Your starter's on a rookie set contract. There's no big money involved, and you are looking to bring in a veteran, and it is wide open. If you can beat our kid, you can start until we develop him more. That might appeal to a guy like Malik Willis or several of these other guys out there that could be had that they might try to bring in. So
I'm going to use your Lamar Jackson argument as a reason why that's not going to happen. And what did we see with Malik Willis? He's only had one game where he's actually used his arm and his arm looked decent. He's a mobile guy. He does most of his work on his feet. He's not a guy that's going to be able to lead a play action offense. That's going to be able to do high, like developing throws. That's just not who he's been. As good as he has been, he just kind of is more of a mobile quarterback who makes the most on his feet. And if that's not what the Vikings are looking for, they're not going to bring in Malik Willis.
And that's why, realistically, circling back to the big 3 you were talking about, Matthew, where you have Joe Burrow, you have Dak Prescott, and you have Lamar Jackson. I categorically rule out Lamar Jackson because he is going to drop back 40 times in a game and just pass.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. I agree.
And Joe Burrow would, and he would be amazing, but with our offensive line, he's going to get hurt just like he did in Cincinnati. And I think
Lamar Jackson's been hurt more than Burrow has.
Well, that's true too. Dak Prescott, I don't like him. My feelings towards Dak is mainly because he's a Dallas Cowboy right now. But I think I could be convinced if he shows up, I think he's the one that could work in the system.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, God, I hate saying that out loud on camera, but
there's always been a comparison of him and Kirk Cousins. He's just like a slightly better Kirk Cousins. And so if you're getting Kirk back when he's still in his prime with this, like especially if we keep Flores, that's the thing that's going untalked is like obviously Flores leaving as a talker, but the decisions going together. If Flores leaves and we have to bring in a new DC, doesn't matter who we bring in a quarterback if our defense isn't top 5, top 10. If we go back to being a shit defense, we're fucked. It's just Burrow with Cincinnati where they're not going to make it. If Flores stays, you swing. If he leaves, then just fucking get Mac Jones. I don't care, but you can't swing for a top quarterback and give up all these draft picks if your defense is going to regress.
Right, and so Brandon, I agree with this too. Right here, I hear the Cowboy fans are also wishing they would get rid of Jerry Jones, but that's the team owner. I think it's the best thing for comic relief for all 31 other teams is the fact that Jerry Jones continues to be the GM. The best thing Jerry Jones has done in 25 years was his cameo appearance on Landman here last season. If the Cowboys wanted to put the rest of the league on notice, I think they've wasted more talent than we have almost in a 2-decade span since they won all those Super Bowls. If the Cowboys want to put the rest of the league on notice, you know what they do? Jerry Jones hires a hotshot GM, gets his hands off of things, and lets a real GM that the game hasn't passed him by start fixing that. We saw
He's what-
Peters too with gosh dang it, one of the most famous owners, Al Davis. Al Davis did it to the Raiders and everything, and it's not like Mark Davis is doing much better, but he's trying.
Speaking of the Raiders, I actually have something. Do you remember All In Autumn Wind, the guy who was setting the Guinness World Record?
Yeah, I met him in person in the tailgate lot. We chatted and took some pictures together.
He announced on his personal page a link to the Raiders page that this Sunday, tomorrow, he will be lighting the Al Davis Memorial Torch at Allegiant Stadium in recognition of his Guinness World Records. And that is truly an honor.
That's cool.
That is very awesome for that guy. And what a great guy, too. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him.
I'd love to have him on this podcast so he could talk his Guinness World Record.
What's the record for?
Oh, he has two. He's getting two records. One of them is for all the stadiums in 72 days. Is the record.
Jeez.
Well, was it something like 86 games in a year or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
My gosh. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs.
I mean, yeah. I thought I was doing really good being an out-of-stater and making it to 5 games this year. So
I went to one and I lived 20 minutes from US Bank.
I went to 5 tailgates.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that guy is really cool though. And he gave Diggs, our VWO vice president and basically our leader, one of those custom hats. Diggs just posted the other day too and everything.
Yes.
So that was actually pretty cool.
So quickly before we get to everyone's favorite topic. So it's 51 days to the combine. Just going to go around the horn. What is the position we need to focus on at the combine? And Rob, let's start with you.
I would start again by looking at what we can get for offensive linemen. When healthy, our starters played well. Ryan Kelly absolutely has to, for his own good, has to retire. I mean, you can't have that many concussions in your life. Blake Brandel played well in his place, but I think we need to shop for a center. I think we need to be shopping for a replacement for Brian O'Neill eventually because he's getting more and more injured as he gets older. Pro Bowler and just an absolute stalwart at right tackle for years, but age catches up with everybody, and offensive line is a very taxing position. I think we need to be shopping for a center. I think we need to be shopping for an offensive guard. I think we need to be shopping possibly for a running back, but I still want to see more from Xavier Scott, and we have Jordan Mason for a couple of years. But I do think that a running back needs to be added. If TJ Hawkinson is not restructured and he's released, that could introduce tight end, but we do have some options already on the team with Juszczyk, with Sims, and with Oliver. That's reverse order in pecking order. It would actually be Oliver, Juszczyk, and then Sims. Whatever. We've got options, but we don't have a superstar tight end if Hawkinson leaves. But then again, if you don't have a quarterback that can throw to him, you can have a superstar like Hawkinson. His number's going to be abysmal. So why are you paying the money? I can see management looking at things two different ways that way. Defensive side of the ball. Regardless of what we do on the line, even if we let Hargraves and Allen go or whatever, we have Levi Drake Rodriguez and Jalen Redmond, who I think are more than capable. And I would be comfortable with 100% and having all that money with Allen and Hargraves walk. I don't really think we need to do something, although I still would like to see a ginormous actual nose tackle. A Linval Joseph sized type of guy in there because, we still have had some issues with the run up the middle. I really think with a pending retirement from Harrison Smith and contracts being what it is with our corners and everything, My largest focus would be we better be looking at safeties and we better be looking at corners, and in no particular order.
Okay.
Josh
Matthew?
Metellus, I think, fell off the face of the cliff this year.
Absolutely did.
We're a little bit in trouble when it comes to that particular type of thing. And I get it, he's a switch hitter type of thing, not really designated to one position between safety, free safety, strong safety, corner, inside linebacker, outside linebacker, all these things he can do, but he didn't do any of them well this year. And I think as well as our defense has played, a lot of that's because Brian Flores can scheme around whatever he's lacking in natural talent. And sooner or later, that's going to catch up. And I really feel like we need corners. And I don't think it's just the combine for drafting. I think we need to look at free agency for corners and safeties too. But I'd stick that up as a priority, along with I feel like you need to be looking at guys, and it's not me being a homer because Eric Gorecki said it on this show too. That center out of Iowa could be a starter on day one, and you could probably get him in the second or third round too, depending on how, if there's an unnecessary run that starts in the first round on offensive linemen, that might just poof up in smoke too. But hold on, what's he saying? Oh yeah. Actually, me and Matthew Lesteri are both veterans. Yes, I served for 29 years Army. Matthew served for what, 10?
4.
4?
Just
okay.
4.
4. Yeah. And when Eric is on here like he is most weeks, Eric used to be a drill sergeant in the Army. We have a ton of us Viking guys on here. We're basically almost all veterans or family of veterans like Chesterton and everything that are just happen to be Vikings fans. So we have the military thing in common and we got our football thing in common. So it actually works out quite well.
I spent the first 7 years of my life as a Navy brat, unfortunately had to travel the world, sent my dad off to Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm, where unfortunately his squadron had to drop some of the first few bombs.
Yeah,
but Matthew, what do you think position?
I agree with the offensive line. That's obviously Dallas did it for a handful of years where they essentially built their entire O-line full of first-round picks, and for a handful of years they were a fantastic team because Zeke could run over anyone at will, Dak could pass at will. They just didn't have a great defense at the time, and Dallas has been a Dallas. But you got to do that. You got to sink at least the top first round or second round pick every year in the O-line, it seems like. Otherwise, you're going to have what we have, and O-line seems to be a weakness across the NFL, especially with backups. So but I heard that this draft kind of sucks at offensive line, and that there's really no you got to have them first rounders. So I wouldn't mind waiting until the second or third round to get just a beefy old lineman. Because even Darrisaw, has he played a full season? I don't think so. So we need someone that can back him up. School sucks. Jurgensen sucks. We don't have any good tackles that can replace. We absolutely need safety, like you said, because Harrison Smith's going to be gone. Metellus sucks. Theo Jackson, the mediocre. Our secondary is abysmal. And it seems like we could use anything basically outside of defensive end and linebacker, really. So, but in the first round, I want Jeremiah Love. I want just a heavy hitter running back. I'm jealous of all these teams that have a Saquon Barkley or a Jonathan Taylor where they could, we haven't had that since prime Dalvin Cook. I miss having someone that could just run over you. Or I want Caleb Downs so that way we can shore up the secondary. Outside of that, I have no idea who's worth a first round pick.
So
how far up do you think we'll have to move to get Love?
If we pick at 17, maybe 3 picks.
Okay. You don't think he'll go top 10?
Top 10? Maybe. I guess if he's that good, then probably will. And if that's the case, I'm not moving up to get him.
I hope he drops to us wherever we're picking, because that would be a no-brainer.
So,
real quick, I want to hit up the tight end topic real quick. Hawkinson, this is me maybe just being a conspiracy theorist, but us sitting him tomorrow, I kind of wonder if that's us being like, hey, we can't hurt you because we're going to shop you. Or is he really that injured? I guess I don't know what his injury designation is, but it's curious to me that he's not on the roster tomorrow. And I don't know. I think Oliver's been a more efficient tight end. We haven't really been a super tight end friendly offense the last couple of years anyway. So I don't know.
2 years ago when Hawk came in on a trade and then almost still had 1,000 yards, almost broke the single season record and everything else, I was thinking, yes, we have a featured tight end. Even though the yardage wasn't there, you remember the Favre years when we had Visanthe Shanko. He was one of my favorite tight ends. that fucker racked up like 9-10 touchdowns, a year, doing that stuff and everything. And I'm like, this is what Hawkinson can do, except at a much steeper price than a guy named Visanthe Shanko, and year one was great. Then that stupid freaking hit from Kirby Joseph derailed everything, and nothing has been worth a damn ever since that injury.
Right.
There's 3 players who I'm targeting. First one, this is in no particular order. Avion Terrell. He is cornerback out of Clemson. His brother is AJ Terrell, another first-round pick. I do think we'll also need to go cornerback. Jamad McCoy, I'm not sold on him because he's got an ACL and he is yet to see the field. So is that worth the risk?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Mansour Delane, another good cornerback option. And then also Love. He is the other option I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting that I want to pop out to you guys for late rounds. Considering what we do not have for any type of quarterback right now after JJ McCarthy, and with Max Brosmer being an undrafted free agent, and we know what we kind of have in him, and there's a long ways to go. If there's some college quarterback hanging out there in the 6th round, 5th, 6th round, 7th round, or whatever, do we pick up another QB just to have them to have that process and have that safety valve that we didn't have this year? We're pretty close to having a wide receiver or a running back at times out there throwing the passes.
I mean, I guess for depth reasons, sure. But I mean, we've done the Kellen Mond thing. We've done the Jaron Hall thing. It just, they've been gone after a year or two. So that seems just kind of like a throwaway pick.
Just a waste. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we go that route, here's a few guys. Cade Klubnik, I'd like to see maybe be a camp body. Garrett Nussmeier. And one guy who really surprised me this year, Diego Pavia out of Vandy.
Yeah. My thing with this is like last year watching the draft board fall the way it did, these are the picks that fit 6th rounders that you just got to throw at big bodies in the center on both D-line and O-line and hope that one of them hits. Like we could have had Christian Mahogany in the 4th round last year and had us like really good backup O-linemen, but we just go and take like these flyer picks for positions that we don't need, like receiver with Ty Felton. Like I would much rather have Christian Mahogany than Ty Felton.
Right.
So I don't want to throw it at a 5th round quarterback that's again ultimately going to be cut when we could just throw it at someone who's 300 plus pounds, 6'4" or taller, and can just clog up the O-line and D-line and hope that they hit and end up being like a Stephon Diggs or a Danielle Hunter, where you have a 3rd and 5th round pick that ends up being really fucking good for you.
This is off topic, but getting back to what you said about Diego from Vanderbilt, because of the way that my week went, and I'm not going to discuss it on the podcast, but I wasn't able to watch I did not watch the Iowa versus Vanderbilt bowl game. I still have not went back and watched it yet either because I haven't had time. Did Diego play in that for Vandy?
I think
so. No, the Hawkeyes won, but I'm just wondering if he played, would that loss affect anybody's mentality of him, heading into the combine and stuff like that either? Because, I mean, he finished the year really strong, and then, bowl games are kind of a crapshoot anyways. You win some, you lose some. But, I was curious if he played, if you knew that he was under center. Because I know he was pretty pissed off about the Heisman stuff too.
Yeah, 25 for 38, 347, and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, 347 is a good fucking number to put up against.
Yeah.
Defense.
Shit.
I'm telling you that right.
2 tutties too.
And 2 tutties. That's actually pretty fucking impressive.
Right. Damn.
So I'd love to see him maybe as the backup.
Yeah. But
I think he'll fit well. I haven't had the chance to go and look and see once what y'all gave for him. You want to check that out?
He was a free agent.
He was a waiver pickup. He was a free agent.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's going to make a difference.
Diggs,
I don't
the
think
Diggs
that's where he
brothers
needs help.
Yeah. Diggs brothers right now, I wouldn't even touch him with a 35.5-foot pole.
But Trayvon's fine. Like his coverage grade is a 60. So, I mean, he's, I guess, just around average, but he gets burned a lot. He hasn't really been that great the last 2 years, but it's Dallas. Before Dallas, he was really good. And Hackley's a good defensive coordinator, so maybe he could unlock something in him. But it's also been like a week. It does take time to adjust to the system. I don't think he's going to go out there and be like a Pro Bowl level corner right off the bat. But the Packers obviously could use the help. Like their corner situation's not super great.
I mean, he's as good or better than Valentine, and he's not doing bad this year.
Yeah. It's not going to hurt him. I just don't think it's going to be like the Parsons replacement. Like, hey, we got another like all-star that could elevate this defense.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's going to be a rental because it's going to be a few games.
Right. He had some imaginary like head aches or something like that or back problem, but I guess he's like magically healed now.
Are we going to call Green Bay the Green Bay Cowboys now?
Well, that would be rude as fuck too. Oh, all of our Green Bay friends and everything. God, yeah, but the thing of it is, if players don't want to play for the Cowboys, and I don't know why you would at this point and everything, because that's whatever. But if Green Bay is going to pay them, and they're in the playoffs and we're not, so
right.
There's a whole lot of things that went into that too. Actually, Green Bay is in the playoffs because of the biggest Christmas present in the world that we gifted you guys. So I will be taking your comments as thank yous. Go ahead and start writing them, Packer fans and everything, for your playoff berth, courtesy of the Minnesota Vikings. But we do wish you the best of luck.
And we also take tips in 6-packs and 12-packs.
I wasn't here last week, so I couldn't talk about it, but I was at the Lions game, and I was sitting next to, I think it was like 4 or 5 Lions fans who, to start the game, were just chirping like, oh, Jared Goff and oh, Brosmer looks terrible. And as the game kept progressing and we kept turning the ball over, they were pretty stunned silent. And then after the 4th turnover, I looked over to the right and realized all 4 or 5 of them had left and never came back. And then Addison ripped off that, what was it, like the 64-yard touchdown about 5 minutes after they left. So yeah, that was pretty sweet to see. They were not happy.
I will tell you, that was the best defensive performance I think I've seen out of this defense in possibly 10 years. The shutout we pitched the Raiders didn't even seem like, what was it, 2 years ago or a year ago? It didn't even seem like it was this impressive.
No, agreed. And it's because it's the Raiders. But this is, again, the Lions are, I think, 4th in points per game on offense this season. And then that's 2 games now. I think between both games, we held Jahmyr Gibbs to a total of like 65 yards and like 2.8 yards per carry. Like, why do we struggle against fucking Gainwell, but then we shut down Jahmyr Gibbs through 2 games? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Brandon says, well, I'm thanking you all for gifting us because it wasn't just you guys. It also had to do with the Detroit Lions losing as well. We were the team that beat the Lions. Just
what?
just pointing that out. Like I said, Merry Christmas, brother.
We messed up our draft pick to help you. You owe us.
Yes. Yeah, you should trade us Malik Willis.
For free. Yeah, for a bag of chips.
For 7th round.
Well, he's a free agent.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't even need a trade.
So
what do you think Malik Willis is going to get on the market? Do you think he's a 25+ million quarterback, or do you think it's a 10 to 15 million Daniel Jones type?
Oh boy, you know what? That's a good question.
Because you got Kyler Murray.
I bet you there's another inflation on salaries next year.
Yeah.
How do I say this? What used to be a $15 million a year quarterback, maybe a $25 million a year QB, and it depends on where they set the salary cap. But I think pricing on everything for skill position players is going up, and
Yeah.
other key commodities like left tackle, edge rusher, and corner, I can see those getting inflated too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
well,
So-
I see him. I don't want to regret saying this because I could be very, very wrong on this, but I see Malik Willis getting starter money, not backup money.
So like a Daniel Jones type contract. Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold type.
Yeah, you know what? Darnold. Yeah, let's go with Darnold. I see him getting like Darnold money.
Okay.
I don't think he's high end, but I don't see him getting backup money. I see him getting average to entry, not entry level.
But like
That's the right terminology, but just
top 20 contract starter money.
Yeah. Average starter money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Keys to the victory against the Green Bay Cheeseheads. Sorry, Kimmy, I had to do it.
The Giants game, I said going into it was going to be a trap game because like the Vikings, much like most Minnesota teams, kind of seem to play to their level of competition. And like Rob said earlier, we're playing backups, so we're probably going to play like backups, unfortunately. It's just be the team that you're supposed to be. If you're playing most of your starters outside of like Hawkinson and Price and Grenard, and you can't beat the Packers' second and third string, then what are you doing? So just play like you're supposed to play. Don't fuck up. Don't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say you win this game on defense. I think one of the big keys is JJ McCarthy is desperately looking to go out on a high note, and I feel like he's going to force some really bad throws. And Green Bay has, and let's minimize
Sad but true.
stupid turnovers and the interceptions on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, the main goal for the Vikings, I think, is to get Justin Jefferson exactly 54 to 55 yards of receiving, and that's really all they give a shit about. But for pride for the rest of the team, there's no reason why the defense can't come out full throttle like they have for the past 7 years and put the fear of God into some people. And the only reason why they wouldn't against a bunch of backups is if they've already mentally checked out. I want to see the Vikings prove to all of us fans you have not mentally checked out and you still have pride in what you do for a craft, what you do for a living, and the organization that you belong to, and go out and flat out kick somebody's fucking ass. There's no shame in beating a lesser string in front of you. It's your damn job to, in fact, do that. So go do it. You know.
Yeah, if this is Flores' last game, I want him to just go out with an impact.
Yeah. This year with JJ McCarthy starting tomorrow, the fact that we also have another 1,000-yard season for Justin Jefferson on the line, he's going to be the target all day.
He better be. You have literally nothing else to play for.
Yeah. I do think it's going to be close, but I think Justin Jefferson will make 1,000. He'll probably do it by like 2 or 3.
He will do it out of sheer will, like because he's had some drops issues this year. If he wants that 1,000 yards, he's gonna put his body on the line to get those catches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brandon. The Purple People Eaters was only the defensive line back in the day for the Vikings. So you're talking about Gary Larson, Alan Page, Marshall. You're talking about Allen. God dang, I can't even freaking remember. And I got the jersey hanging on the wall right over there. I just can't see
Eller,
it.
Carl Eller,
not Allen. Carl Eller. Yes. So, that Purple People Eaters were well known for just devouring quarterbacks. They had a saying. They would chant Odin under their breaths. And then they tell each other right before the snap, meet at the quarterback, and that's what they did. That's why they're so famous. This pass rush and this defense and the way that they devour and pressure quarterbacks is not that far off from the Purple People Eaters of the 1970s. It's not that far off. In fact, there's some days where it's just downright impressive. Now, does that make the Purple People Eaters was not the entire team? That was that defensive line of those four guys. So I feel like the way that Ginkel and Redmond and Grenard and now Dallas Turner stepping up, and then what we bring with our linebackers and Harrison Smith and a combination of all that stuff, because it's not the same. We don't run a 4-3 defense like the Vikings did for 50 years. We have a combination of stuff, but when you have Blake Cashman chipping in, you've got the
Eric Wilson
even. Yes. They're making people very, very uncomfortable, and they are hurting people physically with planting people's ass on the ground. So lots and lots of tackles for loss. Quarterback sacks aren't necessarily where they need to be, but again, Grenard had something like 38 almost sacks of pressures and everything else. It's just it's been a weird year, but will anybody ever be the vaunted Purple People Eaters again in Minnesota? I don't know. We've been pretty close. We had the number one defense in 2017 in the NFL with that group and everything that Zimmer put together. Since that time, Flores' defense has been one of the best that I've seen. We're just doing it in a complete different, unconventional way that's never been seen in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you guys think?
If you remember the Water Boy, the guy that says, "Please don't hurt me, hot." That's what I think all the quarterbacks were.
Honestly, it's a crazy stat that I didn't even know until I saw it going into the Lions game how he had gone 6 straight games without allowing a passing touchdown, and then we only allowed 1 to Jared Goff in that offense. So in 7 weeks now, we've allowed 1 passing touchdown. That's unreal, and that's attributed to why we've won 4 straight and could possibly win 5 straight.
Yeah, defense is clicking. Brian Flores more than likely is going to stay. He's not going to be anywhere.
No, he's not going to be. And all this talk of he's going to go to Dallas to be their defensive coordinator. He's not taking a fucking lateral change. He loves Minnesota. The only reason he's going to leave is if he gets a head coaching spot.
Yeah, and we can block any lateral move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is funny, but this is a candy $1 million bill, but I think Mark Wilf needs to take one of these that's real and just across the table to B-Flow and just say, how many more of these would you like to stay? And just make this
right. Yeah, because coach money comes out of the Wilf's pockets, right?
Yeah, that's not that. The staff, the coaching, the infrastructure, all the probably hundreds or thousands of employees it takes to make everything work for the organization between US Bank Stadium, TCO Performance Center, the museum, the grounds crew, all that stuff. There's probably 1,000 people on the Vikings staff payroll. That stuff is just paid from the Wilfs directly. It has no bearing on salary cap whatsoever.
Okay.
So Kwesi, we don't know because they don't release it what Kwesi's getting paid. But whatever they've got worked out with him, Kevin O'Connell, the head coach salary is usually known. Some of them they don't release and everything, but Brian Flores should be You can, if you want, and if you've got unlimited money, and it seems like the Wilfs do, you could pay Brian Flores head coach money to be the defensive coordinator. You don't need to release
right.
And we can just,
So
the
number I've seen floated around that is like quote head coach money is about $3 to $4 million a year. Yeah, if you're a billionaire and you want to put your money where your mouth is and say I want to build a Super Bowl roster, you give him $4 million a year to make him stay.
Yeah. So quickly,
if I was a billionaire, I would pay. I wouldn't slide a blank check over, but I'd slide a check that has the right amount of zeros behind it and say put a number in front of this that makes you happy.
Yeah, right.
For X amount of and it'll be dependent on how many years we're talking and everything. But let's say 4 more years. Help me out here a little bit. What is it going to take? Okay, you got it.
Right.
So quickly, what's the score prediction for the Packers Vikings? And Matthew, let's start with you.
Again, all our hope is that we just force feed JJ tomorrow so he can get his 1,000 yards. If we do that, that means we're passing well and hopefully can score some touchdowns. But I also agree with Rob that it's probably going to be pretty low scoring. I'll say 24-17 Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm going to say that basically 24-10, but I do feel like at least one of those touchdowns is going to be scored on defense. But my only real prediction is I do think we'll get JJ his 1,000 yards. They're going to do whatever the hell it takes.
Even so salty.
I'm salty as shit about this. If we have to throw it to him 15 times, but it's a high percentage swing pass to let him pick up the 5 yards each freaking time to get there, 10 times, and then if we got to throw it 15 times and get stopped with 3 yards each time, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to give him the ball.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 23-10 Minnesota.
Yeah. Let's end the season on a 5-game win streak. Why the hell not?
Okay.
18th pick, here we go.
I renege on that. I'm going from 24-10 to 27-10. You want to know why? Because I want to see Will Riker line up and kick a 69-yard field goal. All right? Give me something. Give me that. Vikings, if you do anything, the season was the most wasted season ever for no good reason. At least let me see my kicker make it from 69 or 70 and set a record that's going to be really hard to beat. Come on.
Right.
They can give me one thing, man.
Yeah. And keep him perfect on extra points.
Absolutely. What a great find.
Right.
But it looks like we're about out of time.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well.
So we will see you next week for off season week 1.
All right.
Yay.
Have a good week, guys.
Skull. Good luck tomorrow.
Skull.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.